Ford, here's the thing. Do liberals realize that what U.S. officials, even Democrats, are saying, that the U.S. has a lot of socialist policies already in place? Half of our health system is nationalized, that Obama bought his way with taxpayer money to very poor flat economic growth by doubling the nation's debt to $21 trillion. That sounds like socialism here.
Well, it absolutely does sound like socialism, but you have to understand for the last 15 years, the Democratic Party has been the party of free stuff, and they understand that that's the only way that they're going to get back to power. They don't care that these policies that Ocasio-Cortez is talking about, according to the Tax Policy Center, would add $40 trillion, to the debt over the next 10 years. At the end of the day, this is all about regaining power, and the reason why Barack Obama's endorsed her is because essentially he wants to have sway in the Democratic Party and the future of the party going forward.
Here's the thing. It's great to welcome you to the show, Jason. Would Cortez have gotten, say, the new NAFTA deal, or farmers, getting more play into Canada with dairy and other sectors? Would she have gotten the higher auto worker pay in Mexico, or deals with South Korea or EU? President Trump is stacking up a lot of victories here. Go ahead.
Well, again, I don't think that Ocasio-Cortez has any plans of running for president anytime soon, so I don't necessarily think that's important. And as far as Mr. Obama,
wait a minute. Let me back up. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I understand your point about now I'm running for the president. But working in Congress, because Congress has not done a lot of what the president has accomplished already, could she get Congress to get things like that done?
I think she would get a lot of things done on her agenda, which are things like Medicare for all and trying to get more people insured. We still have 12% of Americans who don't have health insurance. It costs us lots of money. I think those are some of her priorities. I think those are priorities that the President Obama and she have some congruence, and that's where his endorsement comes from.
All right, understood. Ford, hang on a second. But when yes, it's terrible that 12% of the population, whatever the estimate is, doesn't have health insurance. Doesn't mean they're not being treated. They do get, cared for in hospitals and clinics across the country.
Medicine.
But by the way, Democrats in California, Ford, rejected Medicare for all. Vermont Democrats rejected single payer because it would bankrupt their states. Go ahead.
Her policies have stated whether it's Medicare for all, guaranteed housing, guaranteed jobs, or free college would essentially wreck this country. And those policies never, ever in the history of the world with a country our size have ever worked. So I don't know why it's working at the ballot box. I don't know why it's receptive, but it's the way the Democratic Party is going in terms of trying to win elections.
Jason, we've had people from socialist countries like Venezuela on this show saying, why are Democrats pushing these failed redistributionist policies that didn't work in our country? The socialists don't even acknowledge the failure that is a socialist nightmare in Venezuela. Go ahead.
Again, I would totally agree with you that Venezuela has been a complete failure. I think that no one wants pure socialism. I think people want social democracy, which are things that you find in the Scandinavian model and in other countries around the world. Wait a second,
forgive me, but the Scandinavian models, those countries saying, whoa, we're not socialists, we're capitalists with big welfare systems, Ford, right?
That's exactly what they're saying, and the Democratic Party is basically conflating the two. To your point, EMAC, you're absolutely right. It didn't work in the USSR. It didn't work in Cuba. It didn't work in Venezuela. They're misleading on exactly what's going on in those Scandinavian countries because essentially they have a lot of capitalistic tendencies. They just have a big welfare state.